boy, do we have a problem today. So what we have here is a hay bind, and this sucker is about 12 feet wide. Actually, I haven't measured the entire thing yet. Let's figure that out, because it's ridiculously wide. I'm gonna hook this too and film this at the same time. Maybe right here. It might still be an inch wider than this. Almost 12 feet wide, and it still might go an inch further than where we were. Yeah, pretty much that. So almost 12 feet wide. 11.6 wide. It's wide. Anyway, the way this hitches up to a tractor, it's offset. So you're driving to the side of it, just like this arm. So the way this hooks up, it's offset. Problem is, that makes my truck, when I'm towing it with the truck, stick a few feet further that way. So I'm even wider than 12 feet. I'm probably 13 feet or so. And then, well, this tire, if you're lucky, is on the road at all. And every mailbox that you come by just looks like a target. So it's very, very difficult to tow this. And I'm trying to come up with a solution. One of the ideas I came up with was maybe make a bracket that came from here down. This would come over, and that would shift this over, you know, roughly 2 feet. That would give me more of a center line to tow with and keep this centered behind me. I have about 60 miles to tow this, which is pretty far to haul such a big thing sticking way out the side. Okay, what I came up with from there, after messing around with that, yes, I could probably make that, but I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm using this to tow it with, and I just use it to put that in here. I have this receiver piece. I've had it sitting around for a little while. I bought it to mount on a trailer so I could put a winch into this and use a winch on a trailer. But what I'm thinking of doing is putting this right here. Okay? Boy, that is not light. However, I don't want to have this big stupid thing, this hitch, sitting here. So I went wandering through, well, I laid out some steel of what I could do. Basically put a plate across here. And then the plate will go across this, put some holes in it, and then I can bolt this on. And then I can just take the bolts off and drop this out of there and put it on if I need it, which, you know, will be very rare, but at least I have it. And then the only thing on the truck is a plate. So I went wandering through my scrap pile, and I came across a plate about the size I need with bolts. So I'm already ahead of the game here. And yes, these aren't the greatest of bolts. They're probably plenty strong. We're not hauling, well, that thing, the baler weighs 2,000 pounds, 2,600 pounds. So we're not gonna be putting more than 3,000 pounds on this ever. I think we'll be fine. Simple plate. And when I mount this, I don't want to weld anything to this original hitch. I am welding to the bottom tab of that, which is way out of any other areas for changing the stress of any of it. And I'll just mount that plate right in here. I think that'll be perfect. These bumper brackets, big deal. I think that'll work. That should work just fine. Then that'll offset me where I want to be and kick my truck over. Hopefully that works. So let me get to work and see what I can do. I'm just going to cut this plate up and burn some holes through it. I don't think it'd be too bad. Hole here and here to match up with that. Get these bolts apart. Weld it on there. Okay, we got to this point now. Got the bolts off. I lined it up. It works out when I lay it out up on the truck here. So I marked it. My magical soapstone here. There. Drew out these circles. Here, here, and cut there. So now I'll go fire up the torch and cut this all out. Okay, well, let's turn on our oxygen and acetylene here. Get these tanks going. Okay. We're working on our school bus here. Check out that video. Needless to say, we'll cut this. I gotta fire this thing up. Let's see if I can here. Let's see. Now let's set this. Add a little bit of oxygen. We have the oxygen all the way on the back. A little bit of acetylene. Now we'll slowly add more oxygen to it until we get a 1/4-inch flamer. So add some more acetylene and add a touch more oxygen. And a little less. Right there, we're hissing pretty good. That should do what we need to do. Watch being on rocks or concrete that can explode and blow apart the rocks. Alright, let's do that part. And you probably burn the leaves down below too, so be aware of the surroundings when you're catching things on fire. Alright, we get the metal nice and hot. Add a little pressure from the back. Don't go too fast or you lose your heat. I lost it. Now I gotta start it back up. Heat this end. It should be all the way cut through. Might be hanging a little bit of slag there. What the heck is holding on? Nothing. Okay. That's that. Let me cut through, well, we can try to burn one of these holes. These can take a little time. Get it hot and just slowly pull it and work around. Cool pattern right there. And it's starting to burn through. Always make sure you have your gear on. Just take your time and burn it all out of there. Try to follow around the outside first so you can see where your marks are. The good thing about the soapstone, it's pretty easy to see where you're cutting. Once you lose that soapstone, you're done. You're not going to know what you're cutting. Slowly burn out that spot. Leaves burn, they smell great. It's looking pretty decent for when I twist it up with this. Keep going while it's hot. It's getting there. Make it a little wider. Alright, well let me turn this off and get this all cut up. To this stage in the game, ground off slag on this, put some bolts in the bottom and they can move. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and set this. Perfect, look at that. That works out pretty well. I'm going to bolt this up loose, but I'll put all 4 bolts in so I know where it goes, and then line that up where I want it on the truck and tack it on the truck. Then take it apart, weld it up really good, and drop it back down. So with the plate bolted together, it's like I said, it's loose so I can move things, but it's solid enough that it'll hold it in place. Let's see what it looks like. Man, that's not light. That's why we want to make it movable and removable, I should say. Now, this is going to go, let's see, somewhere like this. I think it's almost perfect. I might have to make sure that sits right. Whew, that's heavy. But I'll get that about where I want it. tack it quick with the welder in a few spots. And then, actually I might be moving it back a touch to catch more of that. Interesting. Either way, I gotta make sure it clears all these bolts so I can easily get the bolts out later. That's the name of the game. Probably be right like that. All right. Whew, that's heavy. Okay, well, we have our trusty welder out here. This is our Hobart 135. Weld just about anything with this MIG welder, up to 1/4-inch steel, and God, we welded everything with this. Check it out, we did our outdoor wood boiler with this thing, God, 20 years ago. Unbelievable welder. Perfect for everything you want to do around the house, farm, whatever. So here's what we're looking at. We have this up under here. I have it tacked into place, and with any luck, I mean, that should be perfect. Enough to mount over here instead of over there. Seems pretty solid. And then, well, magic moment. Does it stay? So good, it stayed. Now I can get in there a little better, see what we're working with and what we're looking at. All right, got it held up and clamped in, and well, say like I said, this part is loose, so I can unbolt it and take it out of there, and then I can get to everything and weld the heck out of all of it. So now I'll drop this out and be able to weld everything, because I'm happy with where that sits. I think that's awesome. If I ever had to, I can get an extension bar for it, but I think we should be fine with everything pivoting and tweaking here. It should clear the bumper, I hope. I mean, that's what we're looking to mount onto. So it's got that. It would normally sit in there and rub and roll anyway. Shouldn't be able to move forward enough to click up or hit anything, I hope. Well, I really can't get any more depth to it with what I have under here to work with. But if anything, I have to get an extension, pull it out. That's not the end of the world. Having this is going to be a whole lot safer towing. Now to make it nice and strong and safe for towing. Well, you can see here, there's our plate. It's in, it's welded, it's still a little warm. I just spray painted everything so our welds don't rust so fast. Make it last a little longer. And yeah, no, it's not the prettiest thing, but it's perfect. You'll never know it's there. You'll never see this. And now I can bolt the hitch back on there. Well, there it is. Jumping on it, banging on it. Not going anywhere. It's in there. It looks pretty good. It's nice. I mean, just unbolt it and go. These grade 8 bolts on that. So that's definitely strong and solid. And now it's just a matter of let's hook it up and see what happens. Well, 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 look at all this. It's hooked up and definitely a whole lot better. Okay. Now, you know, I'm sticking out a touch on this side. But before, I mean, I was way over the line trying to drive down the road. So now I should be able to get out of the road, at least off the center line. And I'm still, you know, pretty darn wide on this side. So it's definitely a load compared to my truck. But it's sitting in a whole lot better position. Centering this over a little bit. Offsetting it, I guess you should say. So by offsetting this load, it's all good to go here. And what I did, I ran some chains to this hitch, to this. So just in case all this fails for some reason, it's still attached to the main part of the truck. Will probably jerk me around pretty good and scare the living crap out of me, but hopefully that doesn't happen. In the meantime, hopefully it works. Haul this down there. I have lights I'm going to put on the back. And, well, away we go, 60 miles, you know, and it's going to be mostly highway. So, I mean, we could probably creep back roads, but I think it'd be better to be on a highway so it's a wider lane. I can get all the way to the one side and everybody can get around me. I can kind of just tool along. We're going to go first thing in the morning. So it's, you know, nobody really out on the roads and la-di-da my way up there. God, I hope this works. Woo-hoo, follow along. I'll make sure to put up a video of how that goes right here. And, well, make sure you like and subscribe to this nonsense. Mr. Brian's Amazing World. I hope I showed you how to do something kind of cool. I was looking for anything I could find on offset hitches and what I could learn about them and how to do them or anything. And I couldn't find anything on the internet. So I think maybe, well, this is the answer, at least for me, for hauling this and a few other pieces that I have. And if I ever have to move them again, it should be a piece of cake. So you have a great day. Thank you.